classes, the amount of kids that take AP tests, okay? And actually, when they take that test, so the amount that take the class, the amount that take the test and score a 3 or greater.
Okay.
But the problem with AP, this is that 3 depends on the university you're going to, whether it gets accepted or not. So then, like, okay, well, that's a moving target. So then some schools are looking at IB, the International Baccalaureate. That's a very rigorous program too, that typically they're gonna be larger than Mayville that are going down the IB path. Then the next level would be CAP classes, actually getting college credit while they're taking it here. We mentioned you have to have a master's in that content area.
And some of those.
But it's pretty rare. I mean, we don't like having a master's in mathematics. That's not very common. So when you see teachers get over generalized master's degree in education, they don't typically get it in that specific content area. That, I would say, I bet you 5% of the master's.
A good example of that is Judy Hollapa teaches two very, and I'm going to add the word engagement to rigor and relevance.
Yeah.
We also need to be engaging because we can have rigor and relevance but without engagement.
I understand that portion right there.
But Judy Hollapa, for example, teaches 2 CAP classes, Business 191 and Personal Finance 151 or something. Those are UW Oshkosh courses. Judy does not have a master's in accounting. She has a master's in leadership, but she's a proven successful 20-year veteran. Oshkosh signs off on it. So that's another option
awesome.
where we can increase that. And I'm not saying AP is the end-all be-all, it's an option. I think the CAP courses is the next option for...
A lot are trying to go to CAP more because it's college credit automatic versus AP as well. We'll see how that gets transferred in, and it's all based upon the test, how they do in the test. Versus CAP, you get a credit here, it counts. It's transcripted credit, it counts actually at the college level. Well, that's actually the next term I was going to say is transcripted credit with like Marine Park, MPTC. So all the technical colleges, and if they take this class here, it counts for a class at MPTC. It may not make it to the 4-year program, but it would count if they're planning on going to the 2-year. So those are all things that we're really trying to hang our hat on and celebrate these accomplishments that we have and market it is the deal. Look what we have to offer. And that is what's happening from right now from high school to high school in the state of Wisconsin. And strategic planning wise, so we are right now experiencing the 100-day cycle that we're through sale. Okay, so that's a good tee up for strategic planning. Then we've got Ted Nansky through the Rapid Improvement Center at CISA 6. He's actually going to come and he's going to lead a strategic planning process with us this spring. So he already has a meeting with me, but just one-on-one in January, followed by another meeting with the administrative team, followed by let's bring some more in, and then it'll end up at a board level. And one of those scorecards, we're going to get scorecards in the end, and it's going to be looking at the rigor of our coursework at Mayville High School in particular, because that is, after the K-12 experience, the end-all be-all with these capstone courses. So whether you're in an art program, a tech ed program, business, English, you see a lot of these changes where they're saying, okay, here's my capstone option, here's what we have to offer. And it's almost as though the departments are competing with each other for that, which is, that's good. That's good. They all need to really look at the rigor, relevancy, and engagement of their classes. The final thing I will say on this topic is that when kids are going on to college, when our learners are headed on to the high school or headed on to that post-secondary education option, their GPA is one thing. The next that they look at, what's the rigor of the courses that you took at your high school is the deal. That's the next variable that they look at. So what's great for students, because they're not in charge of the rigor of the courses that are offered, they look at whatever you have, and they want to make sure that that student is exhausting that curriculum as much as possible. You know, so if a class doesn't have that, they don't get punished when they try to get to this university, but they do want to see what you have. So the other part, and we just zoomed through it because that's a 77-page document with the career pathways that are in that handbook that are very user-friendly for the students and parents. So to me, that's a great course guide, got a lot of content in it, and families should absolutely use that. And when they meet with a counselor, they should go page by page through the thing, ask any questions they have.
Okay, now I'm going to work on the other job shadowing. I see like Nick does it.
Yep.
Are you going to set it up so the kids that wanna be an engineer get to go through a job shadowing on that end, not just the welding end and.
Yeah, Dave.
And I think there should be more, we should go down to the accounting offices in town.
Yep, we got that. We've got two kids that currently run books for companies downtown.
Okay, and I see it in here, it says see youth apprentice.
Yeah, I just wrote it down, that's a really big deal, so that.
Because I had kids through youth apprenticeship through Myra.
Yep.
Yeah, there's different, and Joe and I talked about this a little, there's work release, and if you don't mind, I'll take 2 minutes just to give everybody the quick version is that there's work release. Literally, Dick leaves 7th and 8th hour to go work somewhere. There's no tie back to the curriculum, simply Dick needs a job, he's free those 2 hours, he's got all his credits, he's on the path to graduate, towing the line everywhere else, that's work release.
That is not a capstone opportunity.
No, that is not. That is a simple, basic, but there is a need for that for some families. The next level then is the work study, where I'm going to go into this field and I have a job at a place that has that field that I'm interested in. Then you continue to work up into the youth apprenticeship, where there are a certain minimum number of hours. I have 180 hours in this field, and I'm also enrolled in the CAD class. So I'm down at Necker Metalcraft working in their design room while I'm enrolled in a course that I'm getting the skills from the school and the experience from the local partner. And that's kind of the
Very
levels that
specific
way.
expectations that go with that.
Oh.
And that probably is the most rigorous, relevant, keep using the words,
Yeah.
you know.
But there's a
engagement
competency
opportunity.
checklist, basically, that when I'm
Yeah.
done with this 1 or 2 year opportunity, my employer, and Mr. Seiler in this case, literally go through and we go through the checklist of, I'm able to do this, I'm able to do this, I'm able to do this, and while I'm earning credits, and then we have a funding source from the state if they complete those hours.
Because the kids that I had, I know Myra got money for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do.
Yeah.
Don't get rich on it.
No, it's like $1,000 a year.
Yep, you got it.
Hey Lee, you talked about the auto repair and all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. And how do we have a car, or so do people, can they donate a car to the, or how do you work on that?
I wouldn't go as far as donate yet, but I think we've started with the new shop area has the car lift
Okay, yeah.
on it, and then we will figure out and determine, like we did in the past, you may bring a car in. Okay, small engines, things like that, we already operate or work on
Okay.
in terms of lawnmowers, tractors, things like that, and cars will be the next thing. It's not so much that we need vehicles,
Okay.
but we use vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody brings a car in and want to get work done, so we could do that. But we also have cameras that will surveillance that entire area now, which is a good thing.
They go,
Modern days, yes. So, all right.
Any more questions on course guide for next year?
Interesting. First of all, it looked very complicated, but when you got into it, you could follow your way through pretty easily.
Right. They got flow charts. You got that.
Dave?
Aye.
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 Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0. Thank you. Thanks, Lee.
I'm very pleased to see where we're going with this.
A lot of this we couldn't do before.
Yeah, we have the facility. I mean, we just brought back classes and we're changing classes to reflect the facility.
Resolution 1819122, approval of co-curricular contracts. Ben Brown and Paula Cruz. Motion by Nor, second by Joe.
Okay, these are two that should have been addressed before, so we're just following up. So the sports manager, it's all year-round position. So what got brought to you earlier were fall sports, winter sports. Well, this is an all year-round one, so it didn't hit when the two athletic directors brought it forward. So we're playing catch-up with that one. And then in the for the musical assistant, it actually had it at a TBD. For some reason, the name wasn't there, and we didn't have it available at the time that we presented that to you. So we followed up with Paula and confirmed their history looks. So this is just in alignment with our employee handbook, the addendum for wages. So Should be all set with those. We have one more, we've got a forensics one for middle school we'll be bringing next month, so just trying to get the house in order if we're missing anything, so.
Any questions for this co-curricular contracts?
What is Cardinal Sports Manager? What is that?
Ben Sports, he does all the recording for events and stuff like that,
Oh, okay.
so
What's the 5 years stand for?
he's been doing it for 5 years.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Now, for this one, it's just a straight wage, but we're still keeping track of it.
Okay.
For almost every position except for, there's a small handful, so maybe 5% of the positions are just flat wages. Most of them have, it's 1 to 3 years, 4 to 7 years, and then it's a forever wage. So we just like to keep track of that. Trying to be organized, trying to get this dialed in.
Any more questions? Norm?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. The old business. Additional citizen comments. Announcements. Jen, if you want to just give a, like, we have 2 board members who are up for election, what the schedule is as far as.
Oh, okay, so I gave you your packets. There was one loose sheet. That's if you are opting out and don't care to run again. And that, I have the deadline highlighted on that sheet. And the other packet is if you are running, it's the declaration of candidacy and your finance statement. And I sort of have all the instructions there, so you should be able to follow them. You do have to don't sign it, you have to have it notarized, you have to sign in front of it, and you have to bring identification of your
You
residency.
can bring that here.
Angie,
Yeah,
Angie's-
and Angie's a notary, she's here from 7:30 to 4.
and if you need
So-
help with the paperwork, I offer my assistance.
Yeah.
Uh,
So just remember when you wanna come in, not to sign it and bring in, your resident information, like a driver's license, where you live and stuff like that.
What's really important is that for the incumbents, you need to fill out whether you're running or not. That's what's most important, because I have had a situation throughout all the years, one time in 9 years, where someone did not fill it out, and we were waiting, and they never made it in.
Well-
So that actually causes us to keep it open like another day. It has a
Yes.
hiccup in the whole
Yes,
system.
yeah,
So-
that just wrecks everything.
Right, so just let us know, we'll help you with whatever you need.
What 2 positions?
Norm and Ron.
Both are in the city.
Ron took over for it.
I was saying, Ron just got elected, yeah.
Yeah,
For land.
and that term is naturally up.
Yeah.
No, that,
There's been 3 school board members in one.
So now we just have the seat. So, yeah, just let us know, because that comes up quickly. The due date for that, for the, actually declaration piece, is right when we come back from holiday break. So it's real easy to miss it.
And it is because of, so for the holidays, for people that, the office is closed, all the paperwork is on the website. They can print off all the forms, they can find out all the information. The packet that they would get here is also available online on our website.
any other announcements?
I don't remember reading that in the paper. Did we get that in the paper too?
Yep.
We did,
Been in
okay.
the paper.
Whatever reason, I
Yep.
don't remember reading it.
It was posted in the legal notices.
Okay, thank you so much.
All with the black square boxes.
Yes, no, that's fine stuff.
If not, this means adjourned.